In case you missed it, the Doordash Girl from a couple weeks ago who posted videos of a man naked online has been arrested. She's been charged with 2 felonies. Who would have thought? Anybody with half a brain cell. You can't be posting naked people online without their consent, and she did so, and now she's getting in trouble for it, when originally she was the one hoping to get somebody else in trouble for it, specifically the dude in the video who's naked passed out on his couch. And I said in the original video talking about it that it's up for the courts to decide who's in the wrong, like who's at fault in this situation, because there was a whole online civil war about who's in the wrong. Is it the girl? Should she have not invaded this dude's privacy and posted him online and stuff? Or was it the man who shouldn't have presented himself naked to somebody who was coming to his house and should have had more decency and more respect? And the reason that broke out into a huge discussion is because it was purely up for speculation. We didn't know the guy. I still don't even think that guy came out and said anything about the situation. All we had was the girl crying on TikTok about how she just witnessed a dude naked in his own house.
Hey guys, so DoorDash just deactivated me 2 days after I reported my sexual assault.
And now she has been confronted with the consequences of doing such a thing. No matter what her original intent was and what she thought that she should be receiving or what somebody else should be getting, the punishment, whatever, she got what was coming to her based off what she did. And I think this speaks to a bigger problem with TikTok specifically. For me personally, social media has always been split into 2 categories, and it is those words specifically, social and media. There is the social aspect of it and the media aspect of it. And most platforms are able to separate these 2 things. You have the social side where people only have all of their personal private things going on. They post stories of them with their friends or going out to eat or family events, different things. And it never goes into the direction of media where they're actively producing content for other people to watch and get some sort of entertainment out of. If it's just you posting a picture of you in a restaurant on a random Saturday night and that's not something like you usually do on a regular basis, then it's just a random picture that nobody really cares about except maybe your inner circle, and even they don't really care about it. The social aspect was purely meant for a few tens of people, maybe hundreds of people that that you're close to, that are within your vicinity, and it was never meant to go out further than that. Then there was the media side. Now on the media side was where you could specifically try to cater what you're creating and what you're doing to entertain a broader audience, to entertain more people and have more people gain interest and follow you over a longer period of time. So maybe if you are somebody who posts food, you post food every single day from a new spot every day, and hopefully over time people will notice this and start to follow you because you're constantly posting new food spots. If you're a random person who's just making a video fooling around with your friends that's only meant for your other friends to see, that's cool, that's dandy, that's amazing, but only your friends will be entertained by that. Now if it's you fooling around with your friends every single day in a very calculated and concise manner over a longer period of time, more and more people will start to recognize, oh, this is a group of friends that want to entertain me, maybe I should continue to follow them, maybe they will continue to be entertaining. This worked on platforms like Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat because they all had their specific sections. On Facebook, you could be just part of the social Facebook where you maybe join a couple of communities, you talk to people, you post pictures with your friends, also having availabilities like friends only mode when you post pictures and videos, and comments only being allowed for like close friends and all these different things. And then Instagram, you have the personal and private versions. I've never seen somebody on Instagram just post like everyday casual regular content and then over time gain way more people that follow them for their everyday casual content. There's always some sort of intent behind it when somebody gained more traction. Snapchat obviously also has their media section. I personally never use their media section because it was kind of weird. So Snapchat was very much more of like a private thing because you added friends and you can send them like pictures on the fly. And then Be Real came out, which was just Snapchat but like with restrictions. But then at some point they're like, okay, this has no longevity, so let's just also become Snapchat. It's kind of ridiculous. And over time, all of the platforms kind of started to merge into the same thing essentially. Like you can do almost everything on every platform. The only difference between the platforms are the cultures within the platforms. Like the way everybody knows that a comment section on Twitter will be different than a comment section on Instagram, will be different than a comment section on TikTok, will be different than a comment section on Facebook. Like how people react and how they behave and stuff is very much different on the different platforms. But the biggest difference on TikTok is that the space between social and media is almost non-existent. It's almost just one pure thing where all of your socialness also becomes included within the media part. And people haven't adjusted to this yet. We've had several years of just regular social content or media content. And now we have an app that can sporadically choose the social content and turn it into media content, which could potentially get people in trouble who just want to have a private social media. I like the way I phrased that. I kind of confused myself for a moment because I can imagine her mentality while posting that was very much still in the same vein as a mentality that you have on Snapchat. Like if she had just recorded that video, posted to Snapchat, and her friends had seen it, it would have been like a small thing within her circle. Still a crazy thing to happen, but it would have been within her group of friends. It would have been more private, and then it probably wouldn't have became anything. But because she chose to post it on TikTok, still with the same vein of this is just supposed to be a social thing for me and my friends. And this is like the typical response everybody knows on TikTok when people make a follow-up video, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, I wasn't expecting this to blow up. Nobody is. That's the issue. That's the problem. She probably posted this not expecting it to blow up, being aware that content like that, when you like call out corporations and companies and stuff, that they do somewhat gain more traction. I don't think she was expecting for this to blow up into the millions and millions of views and get like news articles and random small YouTubers like talking about it. But she did post it, and that did end up happening, and now she needs to face the consequences of that. And you may be saying, well, it's the person's fault. They shouldn't be posting social stuff, but a monkey can't build a car until you give it a wrench. I thought about that before recording. I don't know if this saying makes sense, but I like how it sounds. Make your own sense out of it. There is a broader conversation about should platforms adjust to the, I don't want to say stupidity because that's harsh, the naivety. How do you say that word? Naivety? I don't know if platforms should adjust to the common intellectual level of society, or if society should adjust to the common intellectual requirement for platforms. Because in that way, the latter half, where society needs to match the platform, you get situations like in China where they now made it a requirement to have a certain degree in a topic until you're allowed to talk about it on social media. A lot of people initially, they think, oh wow, that makes sense. You get a lot of dumbasses off the internet, but a lot of people forget that they themselves are included in a lot of conversations that they're not qualified to be talking about, me included. Because when I first read the headline of only people with degrees are allowed to speak on certain topics, I was like, awesome, amazing. Then I was like, well, I only have a degree in audio engineering. I can't talk about shit. I can't talk about anything else except music and only the technical aspect of it. That's messed up. That sucks. So even though I agree that certain people do need to be more qualified to speak on the topics they're talking about, I don't think that you can just set a standard restriction like that and not cause some sort of not necessarily panic, but just discomfort among society. So I think it's up to the platforms to a certain extent to maintain a certain amount of responsibility and awareness in what they're doing. I'm not saying to hold them to any sort of like have them on a pedestal and point them out and call them out and all this stuff. That's not going to happen. This is purely hypothetical. None of us have any sort of power against any of these platforms. I'm just trying to point it out that it's an issue. And it's very apparent that the social and the media part mix on TikTok. When you scroll and you see like just like random things. I saw a video the other day of a girl talking about how her neighbor just shot his girlfriend in the head.
The person that lived right here just ran out of the apartment screaming that his girlfriend shot herself in the head and was laying in the living room for somebody to help. He called 911. He called his parents. He tried to make it seem like it wasn't him. He was sitting in that apartment with her. When the cops were cleaning this shit up, they said it looked like a homicide. So I was like 5 feet away from a homicide.
And my thought is like, why are you telling us this? You are literally talking about a potential homicide and you're posting it online. And I just checked, there's 300,000 likes. Why are you telling us? The police are outside of your door. Go talk to them. Doordash Girl, you have the video, you have the situation. Go to the authorities and tell them, what am I supposed to do about that? Because now you're just making yourself liable. Now you're just putting yourself in an issue that you didn't need to have originally. And even, bro, send it to the authorities, have them figure out, once they say, yeah, okay, it's done, then post the shit. Can y'all not show a little bit of patience? Just wait, dude, even smaller, not even a viral post. I saw a post the other day of a girl writing, it's one of those new text posts. She was writing about how everybody should leave her dead friend alone and let her grieve in peace and just let the person, just let the person's memory live and stuff like that. And I'm looking at it, she wrote, the friend's name was like Chase or something. She was like, let Chase rest in peace, let me have my peace, let me grieve in peace, all these different things. And I'm looking at it and I'm reading it like, who the fuck is Chase? Who the fuck are you? What the fuck is this? Why is it on my page? Why? I don't care about anybody that's included in this, especially because it's a text, like a text block. There were no pictures, there was no videos, there was no like honorary sort of like dedications or anything. It was literally just text about a girl getting mad that people were talking about her dead best friend. Now, rest in peace to the dead best friend. I feel sorry for the girl. Why I gotta do with this? I don't know anybody involved. So that's just an example of how the system is created to include everybody within your social if you use TikTok as a social media app instead of a social media app. I use TikTok as a social media app. I would talk about anything and everything with the intent that a lot of people will see it. I never spoke about real life situations. Well, occasionally I would mention certain things like behaviors certain people would have and show, but I would never call anybody out by name. I would never make it like specified to a specific person. I would even occasionally, like if there was a situation I was in with somebody and I knew they followed me on TikTok and they did something that I thought was funny and entertaining, I would wait several weeks to make a TikTok about it because I didn't want them thinking that recent exchange was the inspiration for the TikTok. Now, this happened on very rare occasion. The people that I spent a lot of time with and I was close to, they never did anything that like they weren't there for my entertainment, right? If there's like a random person on the street, something funny happens, I'll make a video about that because it's just a random person. But the people that are close to me, I feel like that would be kind of disrespectful to talk about them in a certain manner, especially like trying to keep them anonymous, but like in their face at the same time. I always hated the idea of that. So I never took people that were like in direct my vicinity or that I cared about. I never made them the point of my TikToks. But then people who use it as a social media app, they will call out people by name. They'll call out situations. They will call out certain events and just time eras or whatever, talking about it in a way that is completely apparent and obvious to what they're talking about. And this gives the person you're talking about a reason to confront you in a certain manner. This girl posted a video actively of a dude naked in his house. It is impossible to confuse that with somebody else. It's impossible to switch that out. It's 100% non-distinguishable. If I talk about how somebody laughed funny, and I think it's funny when people laugh funny because I need to do my best to not try to laugh like they laugh because the laugh is just funny and I want to see if I can do it, you don't know who I'm talking about. But if I take a picture of a person's laugh and then I turn the camera to myself and mock their laugh, it's very obvious what's going on. Like, I'm kind of an asshole in that situation. This girl, even if the dude did purposely have his dick out, even if the dude did purposely lay naked in front of his door with the door wide open so that she could see him, she still shouldn't be posting a video of a dude naked on the internet. Authorities, police are there for a reason. I don't even agree with them 100%, but there is a system, and in these situations, that is where the system comes into play. Your phone is not your system. Stop sharing everything with us. Like, cool, it's entertaining for us personally, like, wow, that's some crazy shit, but you are the one who gets in troubles in the end. You are the one who has to reckon for it in the end. You are the one who has to face the consequences. I don't face any consequence for looking at the video, for seeing the video, for talking about it. I'm fine. I have no fear of getting an email from the police or having them knock on my door like, hey, are you in ownership of the video? I mean, I'm not. But if they're like, oh, did you watch the video of the man naked in his room? I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, well, you're arrested. For what? Having my eyes open? Like, damn, dude. Understand that the internet is a two-way street. You see stuff that other people post. They also see stuff that you post. Just be more mindful. Be aware. Be careful.